welcome to another Glenbrook Podcast. Obviously you'll realise that I'm not Guy. We thought we'd mix it up a bit. My name is Mandy Mills. I'm the office manager here at Glenbrook. I'm the one person that's responsible for taking care of the office, but also taking care of our lovely Glenbrook team. We are committed to wellbeing within the team, and just one of our initiatives has been to get us all fit and healthy. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Peter and Abby Varga of P1, who are a group personal training gym in City Centre Manchester, who have very kindly agreed to come in and talk to us about their journey and their journey with us here at Glenbrook. So welcome, thank you for agreeing to do this.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. And we'll kick off really with just sort of introducing why P1 and Glenbrook have become such good buddies. As part of a wellbeing exercise, Glenbrook have put some initiatives in to help the wellbeing of the team, and P1 are our partner for getting us all strong and healthy with our group training sessions. These happen twice a week in P1's City Centre gym. They've been putting us through the paces. We've all been getting stronger, we've all had DOMs, and we've all really enjoyed it. I think one of the massive benefits has been the camaraderie within the team, which I'm sure you can agree. So that's us, that's why we're here. So firstly, I'd just like to ask, how did you get into group training? Where did it all start?
Well, how far back do we go?
Yeah, exactly.
Go as far back as you want to. Yeah.
I think I'm probably better at answering this one. My background is more the personal training and the fitness, so that's something that I've always been into.
Yeah.
Coming from professional sport into fitness, stepping into it, and I've gone through the rounds of the usual one-on-one personal training is where most people tend to start out, but then you hit a limit of how many people you can work with. Also, I realised that it's not always easy for people to train enough with a one-on-one personal trainer because it can get really pricey. Therefore, one of my biggest values, consistency, has been sort of difficult to maintain and help people to maintain that. So that's why we moved into groups, and then in the end sort of refined it down to small group personal training, which is something that we've been doing since 2019. So we have been running the sessions the way you've experienced them, obviously with small tweaks and evolution and constant learning and all that, but pretty much we've been running the gym like that since 2019. So 4 years, it tends to be around 3,000 sessions a year that we run. So yeah, I could say. Can I say it on the podcast? I think we're getting really good at it.
Yeah.
So we know what we're doing with it,
Yeah.
and we got the experience there, and this is what we think now it's going to stay. It's the best way of reaching enough people who can then come to us enough time and actually live all the amazing benefits that we live, which is probably the main reason that you got into it.
Yeah. So your background isn't necessarily fitness then? I think.
No, my background's quite different. So I've always been into fitness. Fitness has always been a big part of my life, probably from being in my early 20s. But I was a speech and language therapist.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's quite a departure.
Yes. So I worked for the NHS. I was practicing as a speech and language therapist for 17 years. I specialised in working with children with special needs.
Wow.
So that's how I started. So I know what it's like to have a busy job and to fit fitness in alongside that. So yeah, I'd always had an interest in fitness, but my background's quite different to Peter's. And when we first opened P1, I was still a speech and language therapist as well. So I used to be a speech and language therapist all day and then drive into the city, and then I'd be working in the gym alongside Peter in the evenings.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been really hard to balance that for your day to day.
Yeah, it was. And in the end, I dwindled my speech and language therapy down, and P1 took over. P1 needed me more and more, and then I quietly exited my career as a speech and language therapist to be full-time in P1.
Wow, that is quite a journey then, isn't it?
Yeah.
So where do you even start with getting qualified in personal training? I mean, it must be such a journey.
Yeah, I mean, qualification is easy. I think that's the easiest part.
Yeah.
It's I think somebody likened it to getting your driving license. It doesn't mean you're good at driving or you're safe on the road. It just means that you've got the license to practice it. So I think that's a very important distinction between personal trainers and actually experience and become a coach more than a personal trainer, which we can touch on later if you'd like.
Yeah.
But mine was easy. The qualification was that easy. Done all the higher education and then getting into it. But for me, this was something that I've always been into. I've always been to sport. I've always been to fitness. It was the only thing that really I could see myself do initially anyway. Working in a gym. Which is funny because most questions that I get asked when we meet new people is how did you end up working in a gym, which is
really?
it wasn't a side career. I probably could have been working anywhere else. It just that was something that was very close to my heart. Even from childhood, I went to a primary school that was special education on PE, and then ever since football, and then into the gym.
Yeah. Wow.
Then eventually just got a little bit boring. I wanted something more. I always wanted to do something bigger. I always do still want something bigger, reach more people. So that's how as a personal trainer I could work with 10, 12 clients maybe. As a gym now we're working with currently 140 users. Hoping to be full soon, maybe by summer, with 150, 160 users. That will then allow us to look at bigger and better things again and build on this and get a bit more of a momentum, especially in the city centre in Manchester. Because what we do is it's sort of niche. It's not the trendy. It's not the latest fad, if you like. It's not very stylish. What we believe in is longevity, movement health, and really the reason why Abby got into fitness and the gym is just how amazing it makes you feel.
Definitely.
You know, you're fit, you're healthy, you're able, you feel good, you've got your confidence. It completely changes your whole persona.
Yeah, it's
so
physical and mental, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's something that's really big on our agenda, is sharing that feeling with as many people as we can. And both of us being, well, me over 30, Abby's over maybe 40, maybe not. I can't confirm it on this podcast. So our niche is that 30 to 50 market, mainly in the city centre. So we built a gym on being able to provide the best experience for people.
Yeah.
You know, like Glenbrook.
Yeah, definitely.
Funny enough.
Yeah, and I suppose office work really, sort of sitting behind a desk, you know, isn't really great for posture. It's not great for strength. It's not great for movement or mobility. You know, so this is fantastic that you're offering this in the city centre. One thing from your Instagram that I noticed is that you really build a community as well. It doesn't seem that it's just members coming in, as you know, a general gym would be. People know each other. You get involved in, I think it was High Rocks recently, you know, different things, and you're, you know, building their confidences as well, you know, your members that are coming in. So it's a lovely community feel. All your photo montages prove that. You notice those on the way in.
We do call it the P1 family.
Yeah, it's very cheesy.
Yeah, it does sound cheesy.
Yeah,
but
especially most people
like
listening to this podcast in the corporate world. I think it gets overused quite often from what I see on LinkedIn. But you know, but for us, it's something that we do believe in. We do see our members and clients probably more than they see their friends and some of their extended family. People come to us 2, 3, 4 times a week, and I think that's the main thing again, is people do come. We don't have any members who don't use the membership, and
they're always there.
People who are members in P1, we see them.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is the main thing.
Yeah.
So you build that relationship.
we go through big things with them as well, you know, marriages, divorces, having babies, you know, your children growing up, all sorts of things that affect our lives. We get to know all of that about our members because we do see them so regularly and know them so well.
And so is it generally people that work in the city centre that come to the gym, do you think?
Yes, this is something that changed massively during COVID as well. So before COVID, our memberships were 80% commuters, so people living on the outskirts commuting into the city centre and then working here and leaving as soon as they're done working and going home. This has changed and shifted massively after COVID, so now we're down to probably majority of the of our members actually living at least within a couple of tram stops from the gym, which is something completely different for us. We did have to do some work on this because this is not the market that we build the gym for. We build the gym for the commuters because they tend to be in that sort of 30 to 50 age bracket with probably a couple of kids, short on time, probably short on motivation, have fallen out of love with the gym and fitness. It's probably something that most people come to us, they revisit fitness rather than getting into it. So it's when those priorities shift, that's when we sort of swoop in, and that's when we can create consistency and longevity again.
Because the well-being of the team has been very, very important, and we've really focused a lot of energy onto that, into things like nutrition and health and well-being, and you know, sitting is the new smoking. So are you seeing more businesses and more people coming in to sort of, you know, remedy the constant sitting and not moving? Are you finding that that's what people's motivation is, or are they sort of big into strength training, or are you getting quite a mixture of people coming in?
We do get quite a mixture of people coming in. You know, some people are wanting to really, you know, build the muscles and look better, or lose body fat for a wedding, or all these sorts of things. But a common theme is aches and pains. A lot of people come and say, oh, you know, my back's always so sore, you know, because I'm always stooped over my desk. Or they might say my energy levels are just non-existent, I feel really rubbish about myself. All those sorts of comments are quite common with people, and they feel better. You know, as soon as they start training regularly, coming into us regularly, they start feeling better pretty quickly.
I think
that gets underestimated. I think very often the connection between physical and mental health and the energy levels. It's people associate exercise with getting tired. So when you're tired, the last thing you want to do is exercise, but that's not really how the body works. So you need to put the body through that exercise session, get the heart rate varied a little bit, get all those chemicals and hormones released in your body again, and then you sleep better, and then you're feeling much better on the the next day. Then you get into a routine, your body then craves and wants more of it, so you've got more energy, and that again spirals into the rest of your day as well. But going back to your initial question about businesses and fitness in the city centre, I definitely think that there's a bigger appetite to try to help employees. It's everywhere now. 10 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, before COVID for sure, we were really having to push the agenda of, look, these are the benefits of a healthy, fit, happy, energized workforce. I think that's not really the issue anymore. I think the issue now is, what can you offer to your employees that is actually going to make a difference? So we see businesses coming to us regularly, and you can see a massive divide between, is this going to be a tick box exercise? So is this something that we need to offer because it looks good on the CV or the job application, and it's fine, or right, we really need, that's the sort of what we experience at Glenbrook, the other direction, which is, look, we need to do something that's actually going to have some measurable difference. And the two things are, it does depend on the leadership of the company as well.
It's investing in the team, but it's also, investing in their health and well-being, isn't it?
Absolutely,
And for people to actually invest that time into their health and well-being as well. What I think that's what's the saying is, invest in your health, will increase your wealth. It's actually not the other way around, is it? So more businesses are doing that, and it's really great that Glenbrook have really sort of push that to the forefront, and it hasn't become a tick boxing exercise. If you could hear them all when they all come back in on a Monday and a Thursday, it's always pretty loud in here, to be honest. Everybody's kind of endorphins are rushing around, and so it's really good. Just wanted to bring us back down to sort of your background, and what inspired you to set up P1. What was the inspiration?
Sometimes
was it a conversation? Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily a conversation, was it?
What are you trying to say?
Because we get asked that a lot, and I can't remember us ever actually sitting down and saying, right, okay, this is what we're going to do. I think you'd always liked to do it, haven't you?
Yeah, I think I always wanted something. I like building things. This goes back to as a child. If you gave me a set of Lego, I was quite happy to play on my own all day, and I could just entertain myself. I've got no siblings, which you can probably tell living with me. So building things, I'm very creative. I've got lots of. I used to have lots of hobbies before we opened the business. Yeah. When I had time for these, but I do still have lots of hobbies. Yeah. I always say I'm not necessarily a very interesting person, but I'm a very interested person. So I like learning and finding new skills and mastering them. So doing something that's bigger than me was always a massive driving force behind what I want to do in life. And then the second thing for me was, again, a really big one is I did play football for near enough 20 years. So I grew up with camaraderie, I grew up with a team. I grew up with, right, if I'm not performing, somebody else will take the slack and vice versa. And that's how the team works, and that's how we create success. And we used to win games and win leagues and be very successful with that. So I wanted to create something that goes a little bit against the grain in the fitness industry. The fitness industry is saturated with individuals who are pushing their own individual brand and agenda, it's got nothing wrong with it, don't get me wrong, but I'm a firm believer in working as a team and actually achieving more than what you're capable of on your own, and the team members adding up to something that's actually bigger than the sum of your parts. So and that's the only way I can see us reaching those big dreams and big goals that we do have in the city centre, which is creating that change in the corporate market, getting people in their 30s and 40s and 50s, and we've got people in their 60s as well,
we do,
back into fitness. And just like how we tried our best showing the people in Glenbrook that actually exercise doesn't have to be dull, it doesn't have to be something that you hate and just trying to get it done with. And I used to hate people saying that they're in work all day and they're I've got to go to the gym tonight, I can't be bothered, and all that. It's a horrible feeling. Yeah. It's not supposed to be like that. Find something that you enjoy doing, and you do it without it becoming a problem or a chore in life. So it's all those things together that is behind everything that we do.
Yeah. And so what inspired you then to push for a...
Yeah, so as I said, I'd always been into fitness, and then when Peter started saying, well, I fancy having my own gym, this is what I'd like to do. I used to help Peter with his boot camp sessions. We used to run boot camps in parks, didn't we?
Did you?
Yes. Yeah. So we started doing those back in 2013. So I'd already been working alongside Peter and learning and all of this sort of thing. And then when we opened P1, because we'll talk to you a bit more about building the actual gym, because that's a story as well. Yeah. But when we're building it, my heart and soul and everything went into it as well. And I thought, well, actually, I want to be a part of it as well. So PT qualifications and whatnot, as Peter mentioned before, it's more of a tick boxing exercise. But my skills in communication, I was a therapist, you know, inside and out, all those skills as well actually enhanced P1. Because ultimately you're working with people, we're not working with robots. You know, we're working with people, we need to understand these people, their stories, the difficulties, we need to listen to them. All these skills are really important as well when you're a coach. You know, it's not just about get them in and do a session and off they go. It's about communicating with that person, understanding their needs and working with them.
Well, actually, I don't want to interrupt you, please don't forget what you were saying.
Yeah.
But I think that's the main difference between a personal trainer and a coach as well.
Well, that was my next question, actually.
Oh, well, we can revisit it then.
Because I was interested in where you were going with that,
Yeah.
actually. So the difference of being a trainer and a coach, how would you define that?
A coach is very much more invested with the person or the people that they're working with, I would say.
Yes.
So it's about making sure that that person is having the best experience possible. Yes, they're reaching their goals and building new habits and you're supporting them with that. And it's about supporting them with that, exactly that. It's not about you as a person. It's about them. You know, so all those skills, as I mentioned, communication is so important. You have to be able to listen to that person and understand what it is that they need and then support them with that.
And care about all that.
About the outcomes to that.
Yeah, because a lot of my training from being a therapist, you know, it doesn't matter how much you tell somebody or advise somebody, you can give them information sheets and tell them this is what you should be doing, I'll fix you, it's okay, we'll do X, Y and Z, fabulous. But at the end of the day, if that person isn't motivated, if those ideas haven't come from them in one way, shape or form, then they will find it difficult. You know, it needs to come from them, and your job as a coach is to support them with finding the answers that are going to work for them on their journey. So it's quite an intricate process. And we work a lot with our team, don't we, on communication skills, because it's so important.
Yes, it is, definitely.
Not just, well, I love fitness, you know, I can run a brilliant strength training session. You know, it's...
making people tired is easy.
Yes.
That's what... That's why perhaps the qualification process to become a personal trainer is not as tightly regulated or as vigorous as it could be. It's because it's relatively easy. You make people tired, they will instantly feel better because they think they've done something that day and, you know, you've achieved something already, which is great. But I think coaching has got that sort of high level thinking of like, why are we doing this? How I'm going to communicate this to the person, how I'm going to get this group of people on board with what we're doing, rather than just tell them this is what we're doing.
Keeping them there too.
So when Abby came on board after the NHS days, and she came on board, she was probably the least experienced personal trainer in my team, but she was probably already the best coach. So and that distinction is something that we're very proud of. It's more than what just being printed on the back of a t-shirt.
The way you set out to start out was to be more of a coaching
Yes.
organisation rather than a training organisation almost.
Yeah.
Was that where it sort of all started?
We did have a lot of conversations in the beginning talking about how our skills as people and as professionals in our own right actually complemented each other and enhanced each other, and actually what a recipe for success they are together.
Yes.
You know, because as well as people, I mean, we're husband and wife, we live together, we work together, and we do love it. People say, how do you do it? But we do, don't we? I know I do.
We get on.
You know, we love working together.
It's a lot of time together, yes.
Yeah, and it's just sort of, it was a recipe for success, really. So as well, when we were building the business and thinking about, well, what do we want to do? We knew that we wanted all of our skills to be in that bag somewhere, to build something that was going to help other people.
Yeah.
Again, beginning as someone with spats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And interestingly, I was 40 last year, so I am in my 40s. So I was 40 last year, thank you. I was 40 last year, and my mum gave me all of my old school reports. And from being a very young child, from being 5 years old, my teachers were commenting on kind, caring with her peers, all this sort of thing. So the therapeutic side of me was obviously there in my blood from being very young.
Yeah.
But also there was this conversation about potential in sport. Yeah. So those things were already there in the making. I wasn't aware of that until I read these reports. I was thinking, goodness me, that's a theme there that was obviously, it's in my blood. And Peter's the same. Like, you loved sport, didn't you? It was
Yeah,
your
I still do.
life. Yeah, and
In
still
your DNA.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love competition.
Yeah. And we're both very much people.
Yes, definitely.
We like being with others, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So how did we get from boot camps in the park to a city centre gym?
Well, Mandy, we managed to do all the mistakes
Okay.
when you open a gym, when you set up a business. So if you think about, okay, yeah, let's not do that, tick. Let's not do that, okay, yeah, tick.
Yeah.
So we've done all the mistakes.
Yeah.
We were naive.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in my 20s still, honestly, I decided that I'm opening a gym. This was before Abby was properly on board with the whole idea, because she just rolled her eyes at me for the first time.
It was terrifying. The thought of it was terrifying.
Well, because I decided, okay, I'm going to open a gym. Brilliant. And then we looked at our bank account and we had about £1,000 in our savings account, which it's not quite enough to create anything with.
No.
So really we've done all the mistakes. We started, we were unprepared, we were naive, negotiating lease on the property. It took us years to find something that's actually where we are now, over leveraged with bank loans and everything. So it's tough, tough process, but
blood, sweat and tears.
yeah, but
literally.
I think we always knew what it's going to look like in the end, which helped
You
to
had the vision.
yeah, and we're still not there yet. It's not just about a gym that's full, because actually we are, aren't we? Not just me. We're thinking bigger. We want to. But we do really want to create several opportunities for Manchester people to be able to work with us and with our team and engage with us and really change the mindset that they have around exercise, that it's not too late to start in your 60s or 50s. And then the benefits far surpass just looking good in the mirror. That's important. It's important for us. It's important. Everybody wants to look nice. I'm not knocking it at all. It's just if you dig deeper, there's actually so much more in there. And recently I've seen a study that was highlighting the difference, really, that our lifespan is around 83 years old currently, 82 to 83 years old. So that's how long we're all expected to live in the UK, but our health span is 63. So it's basically when you retire, you've got 20 years of sickness to look forward to, and it's just wrong. And amongst many other things, it does not have to be like that. And I'm not saying that if you exercise, you're going to avoid all that, but any terms of sickness or any illness, even if you're just talking about flu or just a cold, what would you rather be? Would you rather be in a strong, fit position to go in, or would you already be tired, lethargic, maybe struggling with mental health, you're struggling to balance too much on your plate and not seeing the woods for the trees? So it does go far beyond of just looking good.
Yeah, so your immune system's boosted, you're healthy, you're more likely to get over illnesses quicker, those sorts of things. So it's more of an educational piece. So how would you see that sort of rolling out? Are you how would you expand to reach these people? What would be the plan?
I mean, our gym is just the base. I'd say it's a seed almost, and then growing out from that, we've got a female hormone seminar booked in for April. That is something that is Abby's passion, from personal experience, helping other people. Again, just goes back to that. Like, this is the work that we've done to overcome this adversity, and this is how amazing it feels. So it's just about sharing it. When people come to us, our friends, our family, we've both helped our parents. Yeah. Because our parents, your parents are in the late 60s, 70s. My parents are in their 50s, and we were getting similar questions as what the questions we get from clients and members and inquiries. So we've all personally helped the people around us, because it doesn't matter at what level, but we want to create almost like a new way of thinking about fitness and health. So whether that's female health, whether that's men's health, which is again something that's close to my heart, through working with businesses and trying to get businesses to actually do something that's not just a tick box exercise, but really do make a difference. Through we've got a couple of charities that we want to work with, and really just spreading the message, if you like, because social media is full of the opposite. Social media is as they say, social media is 1,000 miles wide but about an inch deep. It's that shallow stuff just doesn't fit with us as we are getting older. Our priorities are changing, therefore our beliefs are changing. So I can see that the people that come to us, they need what we know, and then the way we approach it.
So you've really evolved then from sort of setting up in 2019 to fast forward to 2024. You're expanding on that, and that's become, it sounds like a very organic journey. The process sounds organic as you've kind of found your feet as business owners, and obviously worked with members. It feels like this is organic. It's not really you sat down at the kitchen table and worked it all out. Would you agree?
Yeah. Again, it comes from listening to people.
Yes.
Listening to the people that we're working with, the difficulties that they're having, the challenges that they have, the wishes, the desires, what they're wanting, the results that people get, the way that they change their habits. All this information and experience that we've had has helped us shape and mould the direction that we want to go in. And we are keen to get the messages out there, aren't we? I mean, ultimately it's about more life. I mean, you want to look nice for your sister's wedding or whatever, but surely you want to be making new habits that are going to mean you're going to have more life. Ultimately. And you will look good. If you have good habits and better habits that are going to lead to a longer, more fulfilled, richer life, then you're going to look good for your sister's wedding.
Of course you are, and everybody else's wedding to come.
Well, that's it. You look good for your sister's wedding in June, and your holiday in July, and the office party in August, and the kids' sports day in October. So it's
3
about
to 6 months of habit changes there. That actually become much more ingrained in, and before they know it, they're 6 months into a journey that they're not going to go back really, because those have implemented themselves.
Well, that's it. I think back to the organic growth. That's how Glenbrook started. A couple of people from Glenbrook joined individually as members of P1. They experience the benefits. They understand what we stand for, what we do. And then I don't know who it was today. I don't know who it was, but somebody came up with the great idea. Well, actually, the whole team could benefit from this. And then we've been working together for 3 months.
It's been fantastic, and I can vouch for everyone. People are seeing such a difference, which is fabulous, and it is new habits, and those new habits turn to a better lifestyle, and also when you come back from a session, you don't really want to eat anything unhealthy. So it all just kind of it all stems from there. You definitely, I can say, I sleep better, all of those sorts of things. So it starts to become 360 then. It's not just the hour that they've spent, it's the next 24 hours as well, and so on and so on it goes.
Absolutely, it spirals. And it's all about control. You know, a lot of people who come to us initially, they reading between the lines, they are out of control of what they eat, on when they sleep, or how they sleep, when they exercise, how they feel, and it's a horrible feeling being out of control. And then doing something hard, like some weight training, for example, that you've overcome something already, and then you feel back in the driver's seat again, and then you're like, okay, now I can choose to eat healthy. I can choose to go to bed at a decent time. I can, you know, it's about that upward spiral. One little thing, just one little change. It doesn't have to be the gym. I don't want this podcast and also to sound like we're pushing our own agenda and everyone should come to P1, everyone should come to work with us. Absolutely, it's not the truth. It can be anything, as long as that upward spiral, that control is coming back to you. Go and do running. Go and do yoga. Go and cycle. It doesn't matter. Absolutely doesn't matter at all. But do something that you choose to do for yourself, and then build on that. Build habits. Less goals, more habits.
Yes.
You know, don't try to get into shape for this. Don't try to get in shape in 3 weeks. Try to get in shape in 3 months. Or don't try to transform your body completely in 3 months. Transform your body completely in 18 months, 2 years, and build something that you don't have to do it again. Like going back to, for example, some people in my families, and they go to Slimming World or Weight Watchers. And they keep on going back, and they've been members for 26 years, and they keep on going back. And because it worked. Well, it hasn't.
No.
It doesn't work if you keep having to go back.
Yeah.
If you need a 12-week body transformation every year, then it doesn't work. So, and people associate the results that they got from a body transformation, for example, whether it's worked or not. But you're looking at a very narrow snapshot of the big picture.
It's very similar actually to yogic philosophy. So yoga philosophy is that you do it for life.
Exactly.
So you might not be able to do a posture, a particular asana, from the first off, but you've got a whole lifetime to get there.
Exactly.
So it's very sort of fitting into that philosophy, really. Which,
and enjoy the journey.
Enjoy it, yes.
You're a human. You're not a robot. There's only you.
Yes.
Love yourself. Love your body. Invest in it. And if things are challenging and difficult, and that's part of it. That's part of the journey. And we're all different. And that's the other difference again between a personal trainer versus a coach. A coach is there to help you with that journey and to support you as you go.
Brilliant.
And there's nothing wrong with having to lose 5 stone.
No.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But then, lose it and be done with it. Don't go back to have to lose 5 stone every other year. Because I understand it, and empathy is something that is also missing from a lot of personal training, for example. But we understand. I know how it works. We set up a business as well. We currently have got parents who are unwell, and we know life happens. Go back to it in a year or 2 years or whatever it is. When you do go back to it after the kids are in school, or you've got that promotion, or you've set up that business, or you've done traveling, go back to it, but then make it into a habit. Don't fall off the wagon every 3 months and then take another 2 years to go back to it. I'll start next Monday. I'll start when the sky is blue. If the clouds form in a certain pattern, and if the tram has got 4 people and not 7, then I'll start on Monday next year. It doesn't work like that.
No,
if you think you need to do something about it, if you're not happy in your skin, draw a line right there and then. There's something you can do right there and then, and start and make a start.
And which is why it's good to have a coach to help along with that journey, and it isn't about aligning the stars just to make sure that I go to that particular session. It's a coach will coach you along that journey, won't they? So that's really great to be able to have that. So we're very lucky. So we were chatting before. So the funny story around finding the space you're in now, what happened there then?
Oh yeah, in the building of it, yeah.
Yeah. So it took us. So we got into a space, and
not this space, another space.
No, this space.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of other spaces that we were sort of looking at when we.
It took us about 2 years to find the right space.
Yeah. It's because this was before COVID as well, so we wanted to be in the office district of Manchester. We didn't want a unit on the outskirts. Not that there's anything wrong with a unit on the outskirts. Could probably do more with something like that. We wanted to eliminate the excuse of time, travel for people. So we're right there. All you need to do is come down, have a lunch break, come down after work and work out with us for 45 minutes, 50 minutes. So we wanted something in the city centre, right in the city centre, which is actually very difficult to set up a leisure space. And that wasn't a leisure space, that was an office space that was empty for 10 years. So that building got rebuilt in 2008, and we took the lease in 2018, and there's not been anyone in that space.
Apart from some mice, perhaps, living underneath.
Yeah, there was some stuff that we found when we were building it. So we had to do, because we're at the bottom of an office block, so obviously we had to go for the change of use, and then we had to create a separate entrance as well onto Kennedy Street, rather than having to pull people through the office main reception as well. But that's all okay. The main thing that, thankfully, the landlord did their due diligence with it is we had to do lots of surveys on sound and vibration. Yeah. So it cost us tens of thousands of pounds to find and then create the right insulation as well. And that space that we have is in that really funny bracket of half I think it's classed as half basement. So we've got some natural sunlight, which is something that we're keen on.
Yes.
We didn't want to be in the basement of somewhere. We've got some natural light. We've got big windows. We've got air conditioning, which is again one of the big things. But at the same time, that comes with the challenges of we do have 6 stories of tenants above us. So that space doesn't really fit with anything different than what we do. So it wouldn't fit large group training like boot camps, because the music's too loud and it's too many pounding feet and just too noisy. It is probably too big for a one-on-one personal training gym. It's like that 4,000 square foot almost is just a bit too much, unless you group up several of those. But then the rent and everything else being in the city centre, the rates are just too high to do that. So it's in that funny slither of Goldilocks where it actually works with a small group personal training gym like ours, because our music is not too loud, because we need to coach, so you need to hear the coach. But then you don't have that many people in there as well, so we've got 12 people there at the same time maximum, 12 training and then 2 coaches, so 2 6s maximum. That's the biggest full capacity that we have right now. So still the air conditioning and the fresh air circulation can cope with all this, but we've had to jump through all these hoops to prove that we are different, because the landlord was obviously had their own preconceptions about what gym is going to look like in the building, and they didn't, rightly so, they didn't want to upset the tenants above. So there was a funny story actually getting in there, and then
the outside of the building,
it's
gorgeous, and that's what did it. So I was still working full time as a speech and language therapist, so the actual looking around at these different spaces Peter did on his own. Only a couple of them I went then to look at with him when he said, come and have a look, see what you think. The minute that I saw that building, I've always loved oldie worldy buildings, I've always thought they're lovely. And I stood and looked at it from Kennedy Street, and it's all a listed building. It's so beautiful. And I said to Peter then, I said, this is it. This is where we're going to be. And it's right on St. Peter's Square, Peter, another little sign. And I said, this is it. This is where we're going to be. We'll be here. So that was my, you know, a bit of a dreamer on the side. So that, and I thought, yeah, it feels right. It felt right, that space. And yeah, we didn't know then, did we, what a journey we were going to go through.
So many hidden extra costs and things that come up as we were going through the building work. No, nothing worked as well as we hoped. Nothing was as smooth.
Really, wasn't it?
We had to get involved personally, physically, with the building work as well.
We worked with the builders. So when I say blood, sweat and tears, we've both got scars on our bodies from building the place, from accidents that we had when we were building it.
Good grief.
Yeah, we're both covered in lumps and bumps and marks, yeah.
There's a little bit
probably shouldn't tell this to
Peter and
anyone.
Abby in the building then.
Yeah. So we worked with the builders, didn't we, as much as possible to get it done. We actually built the gym. It went from being an empty office space to being the gym within a 6-week period. I was working term time only at the time, so during the summer holidays, that's what we've got. That's when I'm around to help, so that's when we built it.
We had to finish it before the schools.
Yes. So it started off on the photographs, we're all happy smiling, you know, and I've got my hair done and my makeup done and having a lovely time. Within about 2 weeks that changed, didn't it?
Yeah, we were very excited initially, like, oh, look at me, power tools, pallet truck, this is all new, this is all exciting. Yeah.
Every corner we went round, didn't we, there was a problem.
Yeah.
You know, and the guy who was leading the building, he was saying, right, boss, we've got this to deal with. What do you want me? Every single day, it was so hard. And then we ran out of money as well. So we're literally going home, looking around our house for things to sell.
Yeah.
Right, what can we sell to get the money in to be able to finish the gym? We'd committed, we'd signed on the line.
Yeah.
You know, we've got to finish building the place, and it was looking very slim at some points, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
We're not going to do it. We're not going to be able to do it. We're not going to be able to finish it.
Yeah, never mind opening and then working capital.
Yeah, never mind any of that. So literally selling our personal belongings to finish the place.
Because of that, we couldn't afford staff initially. So when we opened, Abby, you used to run me down to the because we live out of town. That's something that we never wanted to give up. We like living where we're living. Living about 15 miles out northeast Manchester, and we like where we live because it's quiet and we've got the countryside near us as well, which supplements us having, being able to work in the city efficiently. So we weren't here, and used to run me down to the first train, which was 5:45 the train. So we used to get up at 5. Abby used to run me down in her pajamas in the car.
Yeah, just going in my pajamas.
And then you then went back home.
So I'd run Peter down to the train station, get on the train. I'd get back home. I'd go back to bed for literally 10 minutes. So I trained myself to go back to sleep for 10 minutes before my alarm then went off. So I had to get up to go to my job. I'd then work. So Peter would get into the gym for 6 in the morning, 6:15 in the morning. I'd work 7:30 to 3:30 as a speech and language therapist. Go home, check on our cats, make sure they were okay. Then I would have to sit in traffic on the motorway to get all the way into the city centre. To then work the evening with Peter. Peter's exhausted by this point, but we got it done, didn't we? Work together in the evening. We'd sit, wouldn't we, and eat little bits of food, which wasn't ideal, but we didn't really have time to eat an evening meal either. And then we'd have to shut the gym. We were open until 8:30 in those days, weren't we? We'd shut the gym at 8:30, and then obviously we're getting up at 5:15 in the morning. So then we'd have to drive home and do the same again. And we did that for
over a year. Yeah. No, not once, not twice. I had to sleep in the gym.
Peter slept in the gym a few times.
No point going home.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you would just be back again in the movie.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not going
Yeah.
home. It's
Yeah.
pointless. I go home, I sleep for 6 hours and
Yeah.
then back in. At least if I put my head down now, I can get about 7.5 hours.
Yeah.
That way before I have to open up again.
Yeah.
So that was the initial. Yeah. So this is not how you open a business.
No.
That's not how you
I
start.
mean, one
It's all
day,
learning, isn't it?
Yeah.
one day we literally said, right, we need to buy something for tea, and we looked in our bank accounts,
All of our accounts,
All of our bank
savings
accounts.
accounts, everything together.
and we had 65 pence. 65 pence, didn't we?
Wow.
We're like, right then, a bit of a problem here.
Yeah.
But you stuck at it. You
Yeah.
stuck at it and here we are today.
Yeah.
There was some cries, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was just me.
Yeah.
So you opened in what month in 2019?
We opened in September 2018.
Right.
So for the first 12 months, the gym, it was an open gym. People could come in and do their own training. We had personal trainers paying us rent. And they were running their own businesses out of P1, if you like. So within that first 12 months, by the time, we caught our breath, obviously we're exhausted, we realised that wasn't the sort of business we wanted, and the ship wasn't going in the direction that we needed it to fulfil our original plan and what we wanted.
Yeah, well, it's not that we realised that it wasn't the right.
Yeah.
It's just we were so undercapitalised when we opened. We
Yeah.
could not afford to stick to our guns and actually open the facility that we wanted to open.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't afford staff properly back then. So I had to work all the time, which meant we couldn't set up the training the way we run it now.
Yeah.
So we had to compromise, and then compromise, and then compromise, and compromise. And then we're saying that at one point we invested all this money, and then it just completely slipping away from us. Like, this is not what we want to do. That's not the reason we got into it. So 12 months down the line, we had to steer the ship back into direction. Take a step back again and backwards again, but then at least put us back on the right track. So we found an independent gym federation back then called the IFBA that helped us massively.
They were brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So it's a mentorship program for independent businesses like us, mostly personal training or small group personal training operators coming together, sharing ideas, and if nothing more, just having the confidence to say, no, we are on the wrong track. You've got to go back. We've got to go back onto the right track.
Yeah.
And it will cost this much money and this much effort and this much time, and it will put us back this many months. But we've got to go back to where we actually want to go, because
that's very brave and courageous decision to make.
So that was just 1 year into it. But then, to be honest, it was very painful for a month. But within 6 weeks, we caught ourselves back and more, because it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, more aligned.
Yeah, we were doing something that we actually believed in by that point, and it just completely transferred the business. And we've actually, this is one of, we were crying about it when lockdown came, the first COVID lockdown, is that from September 2019 to March 2020, the first lockdown, our influence and membership base grew by a steady 12 to 15% month on month, and then COVID. So
you were aligned with everything. Everything was, the ship was in the
Yeah,
right direction.
yeah. And
we
it was
employed
going
our
really well.
coaches. We had an employed team. Everything was.
Yeah, we were employing coach
fabulous.
after coach.
Yeah.
Because we were having to bring more people on board.
Yeah.
And then the world fell apart.
Yeah.
And then.
We thought we were going to lose it, didn't we?
Yeah. Which was even harder by that point, because we were like, oh no, we're actually doing well. We're doing what we want to do, and we're actually doing well with it. With it now. It's not because honestly, if COVID happened in the March previous year, we would just let it go, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So how did you navigate it? What was your plan, or did you just? How did you go through that world falling apart, as you like to?
We did what we could online.
We were still part of the IFBA, weren't we
then?
The federation that supported gyms like ours, and that was invaluable. You know, they really supported us as well, because we'd come together regularly with all of those other private gym owners as well and do troubleshooting together, look at different ideas and suggestions of what can we be doing to get the business through.
Because people still needed help, just because they were
even
sitting,
more so in
Yeah.
some cases,
and just because they were sitting at home,
Yeah.
or a lot of them working still, but
Yeah.
from home, that didn't mean that they didn't need us anymore. It just meant that we had to find a way to help people without the obvious of bringing them down into
The reach
brick
had to be
and mortar,
different, didn't it?
brick and mortar facility.
Yeah.
So we did that.
Yeah.
That was online, mainly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, Mandy, for a good 5 days, it looked like online is going to be the future. I was getting ready to kick the lease up. I was like, oh, you know what? I've got all these friends in Eastern Europe, where I'm from. I'm just going to, I'm just going to employ them. They'll be doing their thing in front of the camera on Zoom from Hungary and pay Hungarian wages. I'm just going to take over the world that way. Yeah, it is not. Yeah, it doesn't quite work like that.
No.
It's amazing how much a business like ours actually thrives on people.
Yeah.
People coming in, people interaction, and even still to date, we have people coming to us in the morning or in the evening, and we're the first people they speak to in person. It just makes such a big difference. It puts a lot of weight on your shoulders as well. You can't be sad even if you have a bad day. It's like, we might have a bad day and be stressed because of various reasons.
You are the most positive people I've ever met, I think. My question was, how do you remain so positive all the time when you live together, work together, every day? How do you keep that positivity going?
Well, we do have a good relationship with each other. We're a good team, and we put each other first. So I think on a personal level, as well within the team, it's something that we enforce, within us. Everybody can have a bad day, but we're a team, and your teammates can pick you up. So if you're having a little bit of a bad day, you can share it with the other one, and the other one might take a bit more of the flak that day so that you feel better. So one, making use of team. For us two, we have got a good relationship and we check in with each other regularly. Genuinely, are you okay? Can I do anything to help you? That's really important, not only for a working relationship, but for your marriage.
Yes.
Ultimately, we put each other first, and that's the way that is. Also, being with other people. Yes. So we can both have a bad day, but within a couple of minutes of being with our members and in the sessions, we have such a fabulous time talking to these other people. That's uplifting in itself. And quite often I'll thank the members at the end of the session. I'll say, oh, thanks guys, because they help us feel better.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah.
It works both ways. I think human contact and being with other people is really important.
Definitely.
That's another benefit of small group. Personal
training.
training.
It changes your energy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a group of people. There's always at least one person in there with a funny story or a funny day, or someone's in a really good mood. So you can then feed off the other people can feed off that energy, and then you just bounce off each other afterwards. So within that group, you find a bit of uplift. Whether you're the coach or the member, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That is the main thing.
And even on the worst of days, there will be something positive in there.
Yes.
There always is. You might have to look a bit deeper, but there will always be something. So it's about reminding yourself of those things as well. It's very easy to get dragged down with the negative stuff.
Yes.
But try and look for something positive, whatever it may be.
So it's the glass half full approach for you both.
Yes.
Yeah.
And usually on a bad day, we just, we train. So there's something positive. That's also non-negotiable for us.
Yes.
Train together, train apart.
No, we tend to train apart.
Yeah, we train apart, don't we, at the moment?
Well, most of the time.
Yeah, unless we're training for something that we're doing jointly, a competition or something that we're doing together, we usually train separately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you train every day?
No.
Not every day. rest days are important. So I probably train 5 times a week.
Yeah, 4 or 5 for me.
Yeah. Al, thank you very much indeed for that. A really interesting conversation. I've really enjoyed it. So thank you to Peter and Abby from P1. That's comes to the end of our podcast. So thank you very, very much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.